Good morning. Okay, so I figured we should probably talk a little bit. I need to update many of you on the Vanmoof story. Some of you don't even know this is a story. Some of you are fairly up to date via Twitter. I should make coffee first. You may have noticed I don't have my coffee because I left the bag that I had with the Peloton because I wanted to share it and they liked it. And you also may have noticed that the plant was gone, which I mentioned sometime recently that there were some changes in the room. I finally got a computer chair. There's a lot to talk about. Little things. The plant apparently was the first plant that my now ex had ever owned, and it's survived this long, and she asked if she could have it back. I think it's the only thing she gave me that she asked for back. That was quite the experience. It's been a week. Or two, I don't remember. Anyways, Vanmoof. Many of you will remember that, and you can watch the video. I'll put it above, but I guess it's over there probably. But many of you will remember the video that I made explaining how I've always wanted a Vanmoof ever since I discovered they existed. There's something about the bike that I love the way it looks, the way that it feels, the way that it rides. It's just very minimalistic, simple, beautiful. This bike is the best thing ever. It's so great. And they hide the battery for the electric version pretty much perfectly. Like, you have no idea it's an electric bike. Fast forward a few years, the thing is that they're very expensive, and I couldn't afford one, and I mean, like, really expensive. So they're just kind of the dream bike that I always put out there, and I had access to, Bike About bikes through the Peloton and Bike About tours, and so I was like, well, I've got a bike, like, why do I need to go wandering off to some really expensive bike when I've got this free one right here, which is fair, and so I rode those bikes, and they're great. No complaints. I'm really happy with them, but of course they're not like expressing your own style in a way. Unfortunately, apparently my style is either like t-shirts and jeans or really expensive electric bikes. So again, fast forward, and they released a new version of the bike about in time, and apparently a little bit prematurely for the global glut that we've gone through in 2020 of bikes. Bikes are in high demand, and everywhere is running short. And they were in development of the third version of their bike. So what I had fallen in love with was the S2, the version 2, and now the S3 was coming out. And it was cheaper, significantly cheaper, like 40% cheaper. Theoretically better. It looked sleeker. It was more minimalistic in its design. The logo is only printed in one tiny spot right below the seat. So it just looks like a sleek black Batmobile type bike. Anyways, I was just like, oh my gosh, I really want one. I've mentioned it before, I guess, but either way, my dad had told me, hey, I want to pitch in for your birthday. I got your sister this thing over here, and I want to pitch in the same amount towards a bike for your birthday because I really know you want a Vanmoof. And so I was definitely on board for that. Mentioned it in my birthday video. A lot of people pitched in for my birthday, and I ended up being able to get this bike that I'd always wanted, but never been able to afford for my birthday. So this is years of anticipation building up into this before coming around to finally ordering it in July, shortly after my birthday. Sometime, I think it was like a week after my birthday, I was like, okay, I've got this. I'm gonna order it right around there. I don't remember, I could look up the actual date, but it was the end of July. And at the time I knew that it was gonna be a while because they said it's gonna be there sometime between like September 20th and October 14th, something outrageous like that. A 3-week delivery window, which was already a little bit like ridiculous, but it's like, okay, well, at least I know up front. Fast forward to the end of September, just a couple days into the window, I got an email saying it was delayed, again, like 2 more weeks. And then there was not a lot of communication or any communication really in any of this beyond that. And then it just kind of the can got kicked down the road. It got sent a day after I thought it was going to arrive, and came a couple days later. Anyways, get the bike. You can also watch that video, which I'll put in the corner, where I got the bike. I was really excited. Or actually, I think it's the same video now that, yeah. Putting the bike together, where we found that it wasn't appropriately assembled. There were a couple of little things about it that, like, there was a spoke sticking through the frame that prevented us from actually putting the front wheel on. There was just a couple of little problems that thankfully we managed to stumble through and get it together. Finished assembling the rear rack, and I was like, you know what? Like, the front mudguard is now askew because of the way that it had been assembled, and I want to make sure the rack is on correctly, and the gears are kind of dry. At least that's how you say it in French, and I think you'd say that in English. But I was like, I'm gonna take it in for a tune-up because I paid for this maintenance package. I paid for a 3-year maintenance package and a 3-year anti-theft package. So I pitched in my coin for this, waited for the bike for just over 3 months, and got it, and took it straight in for a tune-up. And they're like, yeah, cool. Well, they were nice. They're like, well, cool, we'll have it, ready for you within the week, for sure. Fast forward a week, I get a voicemail that just says, hey, we couldn't fix it. We've sent it to the Netherlands. And that was it. And they were like, well, you'll have a new bike on the way because this one we can't fix. Okay. Another week or two go by. I start calling. Nobody's answering. They're busy in the shop all the time. So like it just kind of kicks you off the system. And then I'm trying to go to customer service like in the Netherlands. And that is I always pick the wrong time to do that. So I'm on hold for longer than I can afford to be and I have to get off the phone. I start tweeting them. I email. Nobody's responding. And on Twitter, I think is where things kind of heated up a little bit just because I was just kind of, trying to ping them thinking like, hey, Twitter's the way that people talk. It's a customer service thing. And they to my knowledge, still haven't responded via Twitter. Apparently they're not active on Twitter, despite being verified. They don't respond. And that starts to upset some other people. And this is kind of where the problem comes in as well, because like I'm in this weird space where I don't want conflict. I don't want there to be conflict. I just want the bike. Like I think the bike is great. Even though I may have had some problems with it. Like I really just want the bike. I just want a bike that works. I just want a bike that works. And I don't want people to get mad. I understand. I'm disappointed. It's been now 5 months. I still don't have a bike. We haven't gotten to that part yet. If you missed yesterday's vlog, you can skip to the end. It's a really nice, cheerful, Christmassy vlog until I, conked my head on the garage door. Ow. Yeah. Hurt. It's okay. It's less of a lump than I thought it would be. I just hope I don't end up Gorbacheving it. But basically, I finally got my bike back. Like I had to call them. I never got through to the French store again. I think I got through to them once and confirmed that they were going to receive it and put it together in their shop. But then I just couldn't get through to them again after that for whatever reason. Couldn't get through to Amsterdam either. Finally got through to Amsterdam. They looked it up. They're like, oh wow, it hasn't shipped yet. Like we think it's still in the warehouse. I'll send you an email with the tracking number. Never got that email with that tracking number, anything. Then like the next day it was here and ready for me and it was just a whirlwind. So I went in and picked it up just a few days ago. Kind of had it out with them a little bit. I was finally like, look guys, like this isn't cool. Like this isn't like, I expect a much higher level of customer service for what I paid. And like what kind of put me over the edge when I showed up was that the bike was put away dirty. Like they took it out for a test ride in the rain. The rain drops, whatever dried on it. You just needed to dust it off. But just receiving the bike after waiting for so long, dirty. And then when we went to plug it in to make sure that everything was working, it wasn't charged. So I had to wait in the office for it to charge. I was just not thrilled. And then when I rode away, I found that the bike tire pressure could have been higher as well. So it was just one of those moments where like, really guys, like, you knew I was coming to pick this up. You know I've been waiting. So that kind of upset me. And I was like, listen, guys, this isn't cool. Like, what is this? It's not... So I tried to explain to them too, because the weird thing is that I'm in this position where I feel a lot of people were very generous in helping me to get this bike, right? And giving it to me for my birthday. And now I feel like I'm in this place where I just want everybody to be happy. Because I believe in the company ultimately, that it's eroding for obvious reasons, but like, I know that they're going through a really big, like explosive growth. It's hurting them, trying to keep up with it. They made some mistakes. I'm paying the price for those mistakes. It sucks. But I just want I want bygones to be bygones. I want to zero it out. I just want to start over. Like I've got the bike. Let's start over and go from here. It's kind of how I approach it. And I don't want you to be disappointed if you're watching this or frustrated or like, that's not the point. Like I'm not trying to rile anybody up or get angry. I'm just trying to get a bike like that I paid for by the grace of my delightful birthday gifters. And so that's where I was at. And I tried to explain that to him. Like, I'm not trying to throw weight around. I'm not trying to be a prima donna. I'm just trying to say that like, this is harmful for you and it puts me in a weird spot and it's going to make people upset. And this isn't what I want. I want us all to be happy and lovey-dovey and ride bikes in circles with butterflies spinning around our heads and whatever. Like I want this to be a joyful occasion. I want this to be a happy moment. I want to have a happy bike moment. Just longer than a couple days. So I explained that to him, and we were like, it was just weird. I got it off my chest, though. I felt like, okay, like he listened, he only made a few excuses. And they're in a tough spot too, because like they're the face of the company that has made some big mistakes. One of the stats that I read when I was looking into this is that Vanmoof expected, because they rushed to production with this latest model, they were close to finishing it, and then they saw the incoming wave of demand, and they're like, oh, we have to get this out. They expected there to be something like 1% of the bikes that had a significant problem, and it's been more like 10% of the bikes. So there's been some problems, and if you look online, you'll find some people really complaining about them and some people following it along very closely. I had hoped that I would not be numbered among that 10%. I had also hoped that I would not be numbered among that 10% twice. Because what ended up happening, and I think I figured out what the problem is ultimately, but I came back last night thinking, oh, I'm gonna, show you my new bike, and then I'll take it out for a ride. Maybe not today because it is pouring rain, but I was like really excited to have the bike. And then I came in and it already had an error message on it. Look! I got a bike back, it appears to be charged. Oh, it's got an error. And as soon as I unplugged it, it just never turned back on. So that's not the best thing ever. I think it's the adapter. Cool. It's the one common denominator, and I think it's the adapter, not only the adapter, but I think that the adapter is not adequate for my plug, for my outlet. Either way, I think that that's the problem. I was going to try and explain that to them today, because you would just think you can plug your bike into the wall and it would be fine. Apparently that's not the case. I don't know that for sure. I don't know what's actually happening. They haven't told me what's wrong with the bikes. For all I know, it is a fault that it came with. And to be fair, 2 days ago when I picked up the bike, like I said, it was at like 15% charge. We charged it up to like 35, 38% is what the app said. The app said like 40%, but on the bike it read more like 30% according to like the little dot pattern. And then I wrote it to the Peloton, and when I left, I let Dan, my buddy Dan, write it. And when I looked at it then, it said it was at 86%, which is not possible that it could try. It doesn't charge when you write it, at least as far as I know. So there was already a weird discrepancy going on when I picked it up. But I kind of feel like if it wasn't that, I could have been struck twice by 10% lightning. That's actually pretty good lightning. Then it has to be the adapter, right? Like that's the common denominator. And that's what I actually suggested to them when I dropped the bike off the first time. And then I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So the nice thing is though, let's turn back time to a few days ago when I said we're at base zero. We're starting, let bygones be bygones. It's been a rough 5 months, but I know it's been rough for you too, Vanmoof. I know it's been rough. Their customer service this time around has been better. I managed to get through. It only took me 2 calls to get through to them this time. I explained the situation to him. He did suggest I send it in an Uber or bring it in an Uber, which I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't know how many Uber drivers are going to be excited to bring a bike this big back to start. And then also, like, I didn't just pay for this service and get this brand new bike and ride it across town to bring it in. So I let him have it for a second. And then he's like, okay, well, we've got to transport it. The only thing is it might take a couple days. And I was like, whatever, I don't care. I'm just not bringing this in an Uber. And then they arranged with the guy. He called me last night while I was on my run. We arranged the pickup. And then this guy was here early. Like, he was here a solid 2 hours early this morning, which thankfully I woke up in time. I was up late last night, hacking away. And so I got up. We put the bike in the back of a van, and now to my knowledge, it has moved off to Vanmoof, and we are awaiting their word to let me know what's wrong with the bike, if they tell me, if they even know, and how long I get to wait. Probably another 3 weeks for another bike. So that's the sequel. We're gonna get Vanmoof the trilogy here soon. And you can tell I'm a little bit upset, but it's partially because it's a frustrating situation. It's partially because I don't like conflict, and this feels so unnecessary that I'm even worked up. Like, I should just have a bike. And partially because it's gotten to this point because they haven't been talking to me. And I think that's the ultimate takeaway from this, is that all of this would have been mitigated. I mean, it's not cool. Waiting 5 months for a bike ultimately is not great, obviously, but it all would have been mitigated had they simply talked to me. Had they responded via Twitter or just straight up, I would never would have even gone to Twitter to try and reach out to them had they responded to my calls and my emails before that. You know, had they like just been, hey, this is what's wrong with your bike. This is what we've done with it. This is when you can expect a new one. We'll send you a tracking number. And then when they shipped it, sent me a tracking number. And then when it was ready for pickup, give me a call. Instead, they were just like, hey, it's broken. We'll let you know. And then literally 4 weeks after that first call, I just get a call saying your bike is ready. And some false promises of tracking numbers that never happened. All that to say, I'm hopeful. That's the story, right? So I think I've narrowed it down to what the problem is. So if it is a problem on this side or it is a problem with the adapter, I'm pretty sure that I can set myself up for success here. If it's a problem with the bikes, I'm just extremely unlucky. All that to say, assuming that I don't get super unlucky again, I should be able to actually have a bike and keep it. And my hope is that it doesn't ruin the experience. I don't want it to ruin the experience for me. I want to enjoy owning this bike. I want to have fun riding it. I want to make fun videos with it. I want to go around Paris. I was thinking about, here's the other thing that it actually does. I was thinking about riding it way out of Paris, like riding it along some rivers, like, and through some valleys and seeing castles. And this actually kind of harms my sense of trust in the bike, because if it's going to freak out like this and have a massive error way out somewhere in the countryside, that is an obvious problem. And so I think that's actually kind of one of the biggest issues right now is going to be building trust back up in the bike itself, which hopefully comes quickly. If whatever comes back to me, whether it's the same bike or a new bike, works consistently for long enough, hopefully I should be able to build that trust back up. But I think that's the main thing, is it's really harming that sense of like trust in the reliability of the bike itself, which isn't something that you want in a mode of transportation. It's not really how you want to approach it. So I'm not gonna pursue a refund or look at other options just yet. I think I'd be way too disappointed. I'd be kind of heartbroken to start looking at other bikes already. People have been sending me links, which I appreciate, and you can keep doing that. If you find an amazing bike that you think I would love, you're more than welcome to share it with me. But I think like it's weird because I'm like, I've wanted this bike for years. I was so excited to finally get it. I had it, I lost it. I had it again, I lost it again, and got injured in the process, I don't even know which side it's on. You know, like I'm just not ready to move on. It feels like a breakup video when you're it's like, I just can't do it yet. I just gotta give one more try. So there's the Vanmoof situation. I hope that was illuminating. I mean, I'll get the bike back theoretically. We'll see. And I think that, I mean, if their customer service level remains on the level that it has jumped to ever since, you know, I squeaked a little bit as far as wheels go, which I don't like doing either. That's another thing I'm actually kind of struggling with. I'm doing better. I'm learning to stand up for myself and to but I'm not the kind of person that ever really complains. I usually would just be like, let's just make this right. And, you know, that's fine. But unfortunately, it's required some complaining to get to that point. So lessons learned from that too, but it definitely ups the stress level for me a little bit. And it's like, I just want this to be done. So yeah, there you go. I'm going to, I guess what's today? Today is the 23rd. So tomorrow I'll probably do a little bit of I've got another unboxing to do. There's some letters and cards that came in the mail at the Peloton too, so I have those. And then a couple of family presents here. And I'll do that, but I also wanted to edit. I have one more 80 and 8 that's sitting on my computer waiting to be edited. So I'm gonna jump into that and hopefully have that ready for you for Christmas. That's a way I can give you a Christmas present this year. Walk around Sharon a little bit in the 20th arrondissement. And yeah, I just hope that you're doing well wherever it is you are. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning by the sound of things. I wanna try and get back into daily vlogging at least a little bit. It's been hard to daily vlog with a number of things going on in my life, like losing plants and you know, bike struggles, whatever else. But it's also been a period of trying to rest and get back to a place where I'm have the real energy for it. I think I'm getting there. So I'm gonna definitely do a little bit more here. But it's just also harder when we're in lockdown and curfew and so forth. Just makes it, it just means that my days turn a little bit more monotonous. But I've got a few things to share. I got lots of video ideas. Just need the energy back. I think I'm getting it. Hopefully this whole situation doesn't drain me of too much of it. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning with something special along the way. See you tomorrow.